Welcome to SHA, the Sound Healers Association, founded by Jonathan Goldman in 1982, bringing education and awareness of the use of sound and music for healing and transformation. SHA features presentations by founding pioneers in the modern sound healing field, and we have a sound healing directory allowing you to list your work or find practitioners and teachers. There's a monthly online meeting, a blog, a vast resource of articles, and much more. SHA, the Sound Healers Association, is dedicated to bringing harmony to the world of sound.
Okay, here we go, and we're jumping in now. And again, I'm Steve Farrell with Humanities Team. I'm here in Boulder, Colorado. I live near my dear friend Jonathan Goldman and his wife Andi, and it's my pleasure to be here just to introduce Jonathan and Andi as this program starts. So, and of course, this is a Sound Satsang, and it's a monthly program now that Humanities Team is really grateful to be producing each and every month with Jonathan and Andi. So thanks for being with us. I think you're going to have a fantastic time. Let me just want to read a brief introduction here as we get started. So Jonathan and Andi Goldman are a powerful pair in the world of conscious living and sound healing. Jonathan is an internationally recognized authority, pioneer, and author in sound healing. Andi is a licensed psychotherapist who utilizes holistic treatment and sound healing. Both are highly respected leaders in the sound healing and spiritual music community. Andi and Jonathan have co-written 2 books together, Solfeggio Frequencies and The Humming Effect. And again, I'll just share, when we came out a moment ago, Jonathan and I were sharing that sound healing is really taking off as it should, because it is, as we're creating conscious living in the world, sound healing is a big role. It's an incredibly useful device. And you're looking at the man here, Jonathan Goldman, who got this whole thing started, was called to it at an early age, and hooray, thank God he was, because look where sound healing is today. And my pleasure, Jonathan, to turn this over to you.
Steve, what a blessing. Hello, everybody. I am Jonathan Goldman, Sound Healing Today. Where is Sound Healing Today? I have a request that we turn the volume up, so we will acknowledge that the volume, as best we can see it, will be turned up for you. And in the interim, hello, and it is so exciting for us to be here because tonight is a very special night. I'm here with my beloved wife, Andi. Hi, Andi.
Hello, Jonathan, and hello to everyone joining us tonight. We are delighted to have you with us tonight for our August Sound Satsang, and we have so much in store for you tonight, and we are all gathered here as a community of like-minded beings, like-minded souls, and a satsang is a place where you can learn about a particular subject, hear a discourse about something, and of course we are always going to be talking about a subject in the area of sound as a healing modality.
But since everything is sound, that can mean anything.
Really, we can talk about anything because everything is vibration. That's right. And at any rate, thank you all very much. And tonight we have got a really exciting program for you. And our title of tonight is called The Secrets of the Solfeggio Frequencies. And we're going to be delving deeply into that subject tonight. We're going to be hearing what the frequencies actually sound like. We're going to be seeing a beautiful video while we're listening to the sounds of these frequencies. We will then have a tune in to the astrology of what's happening astrologically, a lot, I will tell you. And we will end our program tonight with our guided global sound healing meditation for personal and planetary healing.
Which may be one of the major reasons why we're here, is for personal and planetary healing. And also we have, as an aside, or not so much as an aside, but we have some really interesting updated information about the effects of sound and DNA that we're going to share with you in a little while. But first, we'll talk a little bit about the secrets of Solfeggio frequencies.
Well, and the purpose of tonight is really to bring awareness and to investigate and bring our experiences with the Solfeggio frequencies. And we are excited because we happen to know quite a bit about them because one of the big secrets, if I could start out with that, is that the Solfeggio frequencies, before anybody could actually hear what these frequencies sounded like, it was Jonathan Goldman who actually had the idea to have tuning forks cut to each of the frequencies of the Solfeggio frequencies. And so it was actually, that's one of the big secrets. It was actually Jonathan Goldman who started this whole Solfeggio frequency popularity, and it has grown and grown and grown.
And that's on a level, thank you. I mean, that is, if you like, 25 years ago, I was helpful in bringing these numbers that were perhaps frequencies down the planet so we could hear them. And since then, it's grown and grown to become such a large, large part of the sound healing field. And I have remained observant on what's been going on. This is actually the first time that I've ever actually publicly talked about some of our observations, which we could perceive of as perhaps being secrets, because a lot of people don't know about them.
Right. So we're going to be bringing you lots of background information because the Solfeggio frequencies are so much in our sound healing world. We really felt, because Jonathan was not the originator of the actual frequencies, but he was the one who had the foresight to have tuning forks made so that we could hear what these frequencies sounded like. And as he was mentioning, that was back in 1999. And so we have a little bit of a historical backdrop to share with you. And Jonathan, take it away.
All right. So back in 1999, I read a really interesting book that was recommended to me called Healing Codes for the Biological Apocalypse. Here it is, folks. And written by Dr. Len Horowitz and Dr. Joseph Puleo. And I really liked the book because there was a lot of information on sound in it, as well as information about all sorts of secret societies and stuff like that, which, you know, I bask in. It's, you know, really, really interesting and fun to delve in there. And there was this, on one of the pages, there was a series of 6 numbers, beginning with 369. Or maybe it's 396. I don't remember at the moment, and I'm not going to get involved in the numbers for you, except that I took these numbers that were on there, and a voice said, you need to have these made into tuning forks. So I had the 396. Okay. So I had these tuning forks made, and I sent a set to Dr. Horowitz and a set to Dr. Puleo and a set to someone else who was very, very interested in them, and kept a set myself. And I had no idea what they were going to sound like. And in truth, they were really kind of unique and strange and unlike any sort of other sounds I'd ever done. And at the time, the only thing that I could figure out doing, I was working on a recording called The Lost Chord that was based upon the journey through the chakras and the Kabbalistic tree of life. And it was all based upon the Fibonacci series, the 5 ratio. So we figured, okay, the sounds of all these 6 tuning forks sounded a whole lot like the matter, antimatter, or transporter on Star Trek. So we used that as kind of a portal introduction before each piece of music began. And it was really neat. The Lost Chord, great recording. And shortly after that, the engineer.
Right. Well, Akshara Weave, who was a brilliant mathematician, brilliant engineer.
Great musician.
And he and Jonathan were working on the Lost Chord, and they really were utilizing these 6 frequencies that Jonathan had found in this book and had the tuning forks cut to. And it was during that experience that Akshara said, wait a minute, I believe in this series, this sequence of frequencies, there are 3 more frequencies.
Right. And indeed, we thought, well, this is kind of interesting because it kind of created a circle of numbers that could be then repeated as a pattern. And we asked Dr. Len Horowitz to say, hey, are there 3 missing frequencies? And he acknowledged that indeed we were correct. So I had 3 more tuning forks made, sent them to the authors and kept them myself, and began playing with them some more. Researchers are really playing with music, if you like. And I began working with a sequential order, starting with 174 hertz and going all the way up to, I think, 963. Who's ever got the numbers in front of them. I'm not going to baffle you with numbers right now because I just want you to get concepts. But I created, if you like, an online sequence of them, and it was very, very powerful. It was very, very powerful. And supposedly, the original 6 numbers came from either an interpretation of the King James version of the New Testament, or perhaps was channeled by one of the doctors from the energy of the Christ energy. Regardless, I thought, oh my goodness gracious, I'm going to use these 9 frequencies as a bed, as an underlying sound, and then do this chant that came to me in dream time for the Christ energy. And I did this with a woman named Sarah Benson, and lo and behold, they had the fabulous Holy Harmony recording that came out, and people really, really like that, including, of course, the authors of the book, because I just, I think on a level, the whole 9 frequency realm, the repeating pattern, as we used it for that, had not occurred to them.
Well, and Jonathan, I think we can safely say that it started out with 6 frequencies. And of course, now we only know the Solfeggio sequence with 9 frequencies. So that's another little secret that I want people to know about, that there were originally 6 and then it became 9.
6
and that was all through the work of you, Jonathan.
Yeah, and Andy, people have added more to it and less to it. And I think that is wonderful. And I thought, okay, I made a very little recording for about a minute and a half now. Feast your ears on the experience of this ascending. And remember, I'm saying ascending, meaning going up from 174 hertz all the way up to, I think it's 963, going up there, and give a listen to that and see what that feels like to you. We can only be listening for about a minute and a half, but see if it does anything to you. Russell, can you play that, please, sir? there was about a minute and a half of listening to those frequencies. And I have to tell you that from our observation, and perhaps, if you like, another secret of these tuning forks is that they need to be done in an ascending pattern, and that when you get that ascending looping effect, it creates sort of a, if you like, field that seems to nullify imbalanced energies. More on this for a minute, but that was pretty interesting. That was just a minute and a half.
Well, and that was the very beginning of the recording Holy Harmony.
Yeah.
And we have received through the years, because Jonathan, I think you created that back in 2001, or I don't remember, but we've gotten such feedback. It seems to have a purifying effect. And these sounds seem to bring in this amazing field of sound. And of course, in Holy Harmony, we then have the chant that goes along with that too.
But as you could hear, those frequencies aren't necessarily what we would quote call musical. And indeed, as we're going to talk about a little bit later, they really don't lend themselves to musical compositions.
I mean, honey, you can't hum a lullaby in the Solfeggio frequencies, that's for sure.
Or you can't sing do, a dear, female dear from The Sound of Music. In other words, the 9 frequencies cover what are called 4 octaves, which means that there are literally dozens of notes besides the ones that are found in those 9 frequencies that are not covered and are really essential to making music. And we're talking about music from every different tradition.
Well, and through the years, because the Solfeggio frequencies have become so very popular, through the years, it was interesting because people were claiming, and we don't know, people were claiming that this was ancient,
Totally.
these were ancient sounds, that some of these were used even as far back as the Sumerian civilizations, and that David's lyre, his harp, was tuned to the Solfeggio frequencies.
Or the ancient hymns of St. John, or even found in the Vedic traditions, that this was the original tuning for the chakras, which this is all very well and good, except for one really powerful and important thing.
And that is, it was not until the 1800s that people started to correlate acoustic sound with actual frequencies. And so, and that, of course, by the time the 1800s rolled around, there had been a lot of research and a lot of experimentation. However, we do know that that these frequencies...
The first time they were actually scientifically used was in 1888. Fellow by the name of, I think it was Helmholtz, basically named it after a fellow by the name of Hertz, or maybe Hertz named it after himself. But regardless, literally, we didn't have the ability to measure frequencies until the 1800s. The first tuning fork was made when?
The first tuning fork was actually made in 1711.
And this tuning fork, literally, what people would do was, for orchestras to play together, people would sort of decide upon a note, and then they would all tune to this note. And this one fellow made a tuning fork of what he thought was probably a good note, because you know what? People use their ears to tune, and our ears are good, but there would be no way that you could do 174 cycles a second precisely, and then the next one. In other words, these tuning forks are extremely precise. We love it. But they are, if you like, the whole concept of solfeggio has got to be a modern construct, because in ancient times they simply did not have specifics.
Yeah.
And someone basically lived on going, yes, the idea of ratios and sacred ratios goes back to Pythagoras. That's a whole another, we can't cover as much as we'd like to, because it would take hours and hours. But we're just going to suggest that Pythagoras worked with whole number ratios, which is very, very different than frequencies.
Well, and Jonathan, I want to back up just a little bit as well, because over these years where the Solfeggio frequencies have become so popular, people began to assign different attributes and different qualities to the different frequencies. And of course, the qualities that were assigned were wonderful. I mean, qualities such as love, such as expansion, miracles. And so we, of course, stand very firmly by our formula: frequency plus intent equals healing. And so the fact that different qualities were assigned and people could put their thoughts and their beliefs into the sounds while these frequencies were being played is really a lovely, lovely.
Yeah. And we've listened to a number of these different recordings, and they're great. And you have to understand that there is a phenomenon of psychoacoustics where you take a slow pulse music, which a lot of the stuff is, and add very nice, if you like, harmonic ratios, which are not found within, for the most part, the Solfeggio frequencies. So they come more into, the different temperaments, Pythagorean temperament or whatnot. But it's going to have, you put your intention on that, and you listen to it with the belief that it's going to have some sort of really profound and powerful effect, and it's going to do that. What a blessing.
What a blessing. And it's interesting, Jonathan, when we have done workshops and interviews and teachings, we inevitably get asked questions about the Solfeggio frequencies. And one of the questions that we really continuously get asked about, that we want to talk about right now, and that is, there has been the frequency of love assigned to the Solfeggio frequency of 528. And of course, the frequency of love on 528 is wonderful. However, there are so many, many, many frequencies of love. And so we would just encourage people to not limit themselves to, that's the frequency of love. There is no the frequency of love, because, when a mother is holding her little baby and she's humming or singing a lullaby. Now, do you think she has to go and get her tuner to make sure that she's, humming at 528?
Well, that would be, to me, a real travesty if a mother had to look at a tuner in order to make sure she was projecting love to her child. So I just really want to acknowledge that if that is necessary for you, okay, but we live in an incredible fluid reality of sound. And the fluid reality of sound encompasses so many different frequencies, and is acknowledged. If you have a belief in a particular frequency, that's great. It'll probably have that effect. But I also want to suggest that we expand our consciousness and don't be self-limiting. In deepest meditation, the divine sound entities have told me to really share with people that don't be self-limiting with your beliefs about what certain frequencies do and don't do. Because on a level, an emotion such as, or a feeling such as love, cannot be construed as a specific frequency. If you believe it, then it's true, but I'm saying that's perhaps a self-limiting belief. We just want to share that because we help bring these frequencies to the planet, and on a level, we never came there to, like, if you like, limit your belief system on the power of sound.
And we just felt like we had a responsibility to share this particular aspect of the frequencies. Now, what I do want to say is that recently we have had the great good fortune.
How recently?
Well, just yesterday, but last week too. But the great good fortune of being in touch with, honestly, one of the world's foremost researchers in DNA, Dr. Glen Rein, who is a biochemist, and he has been doing experimentation and research with some of with the Solfeggio frequencies.
And just a shout out to Glenn. Before that, I knew of Glenn's work And he's the person who basically working with heart math showed that the energy of, if like heart-brain coherence and compassion projected to DNA will have a positive effect. So he's the guy, and I sent him a number of recordings to check out, and in truth, he checked a number of them out, and some of them I was very surprised at the results, because I was so totally sure that there would be this magnificent shift and change in the DNA, and not much happened. I was kind of disappointed, but he did tell us that the ascending, going up of the 9 tuning forks, the recording of the tuning forks to holy harmony and he did the experiment twice because he couldn't believe the results. They had an 80% effect on the conductivity of the DNA. And without getting into it, it means some powerful, powerful stuff was going on. And I was going, my goodness gracious, I also sent him some other recordings, including just the sound of 528. And that didn't have very much of an effect at all. Glenn was not putting any sort of intentionality into it. He was just interested in finding out how the DNA responded. And we talked to him yesterday. So we can say, I said, Glenn, can we say in truth that the sequential ascending order of the Solfeggio Tuning Forks, the Holy Harmony Tuning Forks, as we call it, has a really beneficial? And he said, yeah. In fact, he had never actually seen such quite powerful benefits from external sources. So we wanted to share that with you.
And I think I can safely say that we can add the ascending frequencies, all 9 of them in an ascending order, to be the most potent and the most powerful. And so that is one of
way of working with the Solfeggio frequencies.
Right. That's another one of the secrets, that all 9 of these frequencies really, for the highest benefit, all 9 of them need to be used. And of course, in the ascending order.
And
too.
Just a thought, it's perhaps as though this combination of frequencies all together is alchemical in nature. It's alchemical, and they need all to be working in this manner in order for the effect to happen. Perhaps it's a little bit like it's a chemical formula. And you take hydrogen and you have oxygen, and those are both great molecules. Where would we be without them? But if you put hydrogen and oxygen together in a specific way, you have water, which is the elixir of life. So just this is a metaphor, if you like, for the power of the ascending sequence tuning forks. He worked with them in other manners and did not find them, but the ascending, he found them, which is very interesting.
And Jonathan, I don't know if I have time for a quick little anecdote. Because in terms of the 9 frequencies and holy harmony, it was interesting. We had a lovely, lovely person who joined us for one of our healing sounds intensives. And Captain Vicky, she took people on dolphin swims down in the Florida Keys. And so she asked us for music, some of Jonathan's music that might be helpful to call in the dolphins. Right. So we sent her a variety of tunes, of recordings. Turned out, much to our surprise, that we thought they would love Dolphin Dreams.
Dolphin Dreams, we thought they would love Dolphin Dreams, but I guess it's like talk radio. They ignored it. They didn't go near it. But
what they loved, and what the moment that Captain Vicky put on Holy Harmony with the 9 tuning forks in the ascending order, boom, all the dolphins were right there at the boat. And we can attest to that because we did have eventually the opportunity to swim with the dolphins with Captain Vicky. Right. And Holy Harmony is and I know that it was because of the Solfeggio frequencies and all 9 of them being used together. And we know there's something very special.
And just as a note, this research was done in the last couple of days, literally. And
with Glen.
With Dr. Glen Rein, and may not reach any sort of paper or print for months or years. That's just the way it is. But we are proud and pleased to be able to present that information to you. And I've been playing and experimenting with these tuning forks for quite a while, and I wanted to see if it was possible to, if you like, create some sort of melodic, ambient musical tones using these frequencies. And I had to work for over a year to find sequences that were really, if you like, pleasant sounding, because some of them sounded what is called dissonant or kind of really difficult to listen to. So I did this, and I created a recording called Holy Harmony, which
Waves of
Light. It was indeed.
And I know it was Waves of Light because it's one that is very near and dear to my heart.
Yeah.
And it was beautiful because you were able to take the 9 frequencies. I don't know how you did it, Jonathan, but you were able to take those 9 frequencies. And how did you do it?
Well, it took a long time of putting them together and trying them. And so Andi uses them at night with waves of light. Now I walk in the bedroom and, I'm hearing in the background, it's very soothing, but also...
it is interesting because every night I fall asleep literally to waves of light. There is something so special, the way those Solfeggio frequencies are, the way that Jonathan, in a non-sequential order, was able to give them a sense of, wow, these really are amazing.
They sound very melodic.
And I love them every single night. I listen to them. However, I also, when my brother was with hospice, that was the recording that we chose to have playing in the background during much of the time that he was with hospice. So there is, once again, something very special about these frequencies.
So what we're going to do right now is we're going to listen to about 4 minutes of waves of light, and see how this, how you like this combination of 9 Solfeggio frequencies. They're all centered around 528 hertz because I'm into experimentation. You never know. And Russell, sir, if you would let it fly, we will listen.
waking up. Wait, no, I'm asleep.
Those really, I don't know where those frequencies came from. As I listen to that, they sound like really off-planet sounds. And, as an interesting phenomenon. And as we sort of conclude this aspect of the Solfeggio frequencies, and we're going to talk a little bit more about it at the end, but I just want to suggest that they are very special. But I think that there are certain aspects that we really need to focus on, maybe not thinking that they were used in a normal musical setting. I mean, I tried there, but you could see that it was different and very limiting. And also that really it seems that the entire sequence of the tuning forks together has the most profound effect, as though it creates a field. We talked about fields of sound. This may be one of the most powerful fields that I've created since I first heard it. And we just wanted to share with you. So for the people who have sort of rejected the Solfeggios because of claims that were made about them coming from ancient times, maybe they didn't, but maybe there's something very special about them anyway and are worthwhile examining. So we want everybody to just really love and work with sound as it best suits you.
Beautiful, beautiful.
Are
So
we ready?
I think we can shift gears now, and I would love to talk a little bit about what is happening astrologically on our planet, because at this time there is really quite a bit happening. And of course, this is not an in-depth astrological reading, but I'd like to pull out some of the high points that people might be able to utilize, and certainly. We've got a lot happening in this month of August. Now, it started out in a pretty low-key, mild way. We had the Lion's Gate, which happens every year on 8/8. And this particular year, it was 888 because it was 2024. And it's a portal for bringing in new light codes. So that was happening at the beginning of the month. And then by the middle of the month, things started to pick up a little bit more. And now we're in really high intensity, which I'll get to in a minute. But by the middle of the month, we had Mars working together with Jupiter, which is great for creative projects. We're still feeling that energy. Mars was also connected with Saturn, which is really good for focus and for discipline. And once again, we're still feeling this energy. So if you're working on any projects, the energies of the planets are really working in your favor. What I want to talk the most about tonight, however, is the full moon that we had just yesterday. It was a full moon at 27 degrees of Aquarius. And this full moon was also a super moon. And a super moon happens when the moon's orbit is closest to the Earth. And of course, when it is a super moon, the brightness of the moon is really quite magnificent. And also, because it is so close to the Earth, the moon rules our emotions. And so it does heighten the emotional responses of people. And so I wanted to bring that in because if you might be feeling, emotional, a little bit out of kilter or whatever, just know that we are having, this super moon, and it is being squared by the planet Uranus. Now, whenever Uranus enters the picture, I have to say, expect the unexpected, because Uranus will bring in a lot of sudden and unexpected energy. There's changes in the air when we have a super moon, and then when we have Uranus touching off on that. And it really is a time where things are being really, we're shaking things up, but it's a really good time for presenting opportunities. We can look at these changes more as opportunities for possibly awakening, possibly embracing new things that are coming into our life. They may not feel comfortable, they may be sudden and unexpected, but if we can hold them and embrace them and look at them more as opportunities, we are in good shape. And with this full moon, I do want to mention that it's a beautiful time for us once again to look at the possibilities that are coming into our life. And rather than fretting about all these unexpected changes which can occur, let us look at these with thoughts of optimism. These changes, these new things that may be coming into our lives, let's look at them positively. And also, one of the important things that I'd like to mention with this dynamic astrological energy is to keep our intentions fluid and know that things are going to be constantly changing, but we can expand and we can be open to new thoughts, new ideas. Try, if you can, to not get stuck in fear and anxiety and worry and negativity, because you know what, that we're human and that can happen. But once you know all of this, then you've got that information. So when you might be feeling out of sync with life, your emotional body may not be where you want it to be, you can kind of go, okay, this is not going to last forever. There's a lot of astrological energies on an intense level right now. So I bring you this information to help as we navigate these very intense times that we are living in, and certainly some key words that might be helpful as you are navigating this intensity is flexibility. How can I be more flexible? Let me look at the resourcefulness that is available to me. And you could even be an adventurous spirit and really open up to change and new things in your life. So on that note, I do want to mention that we do have at this time, Mercury went retrograde August 5th, and it will stay retrograde until August 28th. And that is a time for reflection and introspection. So when these changes and, this upheaval might come into your world, hey, it's all going to change. It's just happening right now. It's like a wave form, we like to say. So thank you very much for listening to this astrological
and that nice positivity, Andi. Thank you for that. We're going to go into our global Om. And on a level, most of us have done this before, but the idea is that you do, if you like, coherence, if you like, which is actually a term that can be applied to sound, whether you call it entrainment or synchronization, but the heart and the brain working together. And when that happens, you get an amplification of the field, or electromagnetic field. And then we make the sound of the Om. And just one of the things that this seems, if you like, the energetics of working with the heart and the brain, working with the energy of gratitude, appreciation, compassion, and love. That's, breathing in and out of your heart. These are things, I think it really doesn't matter that much what frequency you do as long as you do the process. I hope this makes sense, because I think we can not limit ourselves to a specific frequency when we do this, but just enjoy the experience.
And when we are, I'll be guiding you through this meditation. So, I'll be guiding you through, breathing and bringing in positivity, etc. But I do want to encourage you to stay in your comfort zone when we get to the part of the meditation where we will all together sound forth with a series of ohms.
All of us.
So wherever you are, even if we can't hear you, we can feel the vibration. Absolutely.
And if you're watching this at some other time, join in, because the field we're creating knows no bounds. Time and space are just limitations of a, shall we say, less evolved mind. So we can continuously add to this field of enlightenment for all sentient beings. How about it? Russell, let's...
Well, I just want to mention one more thing.
Yes.
And that is that, as I was just talking about the astrological influences, which, can be a little bit intense and chaotic and hectic right now. This particular meditation is such a beautiful time to bring ourselves into center and to allow our inner peace to come forth. So now
Russell, thank you, sir. And thank you all who are taking part in this.
The purpose for this meditation is to project a sound encoded with the energies of light and love and project healing to the Gaia matrix, our beloved planet Earth. We will first create coherence between our heart and our brain. This effect will further be amplified by the power of the Om that you will be toning along with later, bringing more light and love into your body, mind, and spirit for health and wellness. And now, begin to focus on your breathing. Breathing in and breathing out. Slowly breathing in and out. And as you're breathing in and out, imagine or visualize that you're breathing in and out through your heart. As you're breathing in and out through the area of your heart, remembering that it is love that breathes each breath, and it is love that causes each beat of our heart. Continue breathing slowly, breathing in and out in this manner, and now I'd like you to call to mind something that has brought you a great deal of appreciation, gratitude, something that you are feeling very good about. This might be an experience with another person. Perhaps it's a beautiful sunset. It may be a beloved pet, a spouse. But it is something that has brought you loving kindness and gratitude and appreciation. And as you're breathing in and out through your heart, feeling this appreciation, feeling this gratitude, you're creating a beautiful coherence between your heart and your brain. And your heart, through this coherence, is expanding, getting larger and larger, and connecting with all the heart and loving energy on our planet in this moment. This is just a wonderful way of creating a very powerful heart activation, and you'll be amplifying this with the sound of the Om. Continue breathing slowly and deeply while feeling appreciation and gratitude, and imagining your breath going in and out through your heart. Now, visualize this energy and begin to sense a radiant light around you that is permeating every cell of your body and resonating your heart chakra. In a moment, we'll begin to gently sound forth with the power of the Om. And as you do this, visualize the planet Earth as a holographic image floating in front of you. Imagine bathing the Earth in a healing field of light and love that you are creating through your sacred sound. Now, let us begin to make the heart sound of the Om, bringing the energy of global harmonization, peace and healing to our beloved planet, Earth. one last time. Now, being in silence, visualizing all the light and love through sound that you have manifested, resonating and bringing to Earth and yourself to a deep state of healing. And when you feel ready, open your eyes and know that you have contributed to personal and planetary healing.
Yes, here we are back. Man, that was a lovely experience. So thank you all, because we can, feel the energy of all of us. We may be temporarily a little distant in terms of time and space, but we're
Physically.
still one together. What a blessing that is.
Yes.
And we can make a difference. We can heal the planet. We can heal ourselves.
We can heal ourselves. We can heal the planet. And we really do have a choice. And I hope that our satsang tonight on the secrets of the Solfeggio frequencies has been helpful for people that are interested in this particular topic. And just to do a quick recap, Jonathan, of saying what some of those secrets are that come from our experience. And of course, the first one is that Jonathan was the originator of actually the sound coming onto our planet.
Thank you, Andy. And next one is going to be that the frequencies are most effective, seemingly what we've just learned, most effective in an ascending order, all 9 of them create some sort of alchemical effect. Another one just is that they are basically a modern development, working with frequencies, if you like. This has to happen in modern times, and it's just a thought to contain. And
I want to mention that if anyone has questions about this very, very popular topic, please do let us know, and you can send your questions to info@Healing Sounds.
And there's also another aspect of the Solfeggio. It may not be a secret, or maybe, one of the things we've discovered. Once again, it just is another validation of the frequency plus intent. People are having all these extraordinary experiences, and it's a combination of the two, not just one, encoded with consciousness, and all of a sudden something happens to everything is consciousness.
And Jonathan, before we do say goodnight to everyone, I do want to send a very special thank you to the Sound Healers Association and to our director, Nasiri Suzanne. And if anyone is interested in becoming a member, the Sound Healers Association is a membership organization. We'd love to have you. And you can reach out to Nasiri at any time at soundhealers.com. And also thank you to Humanity's team for producing our satsangs once a month. And of course, the wonderful man behind the curtain, Russell. Thank you tonight, Russell.
Totally. And as always, folks, we look forward to having this as a replay. If you want to watch some sections of it, in about a week, it'll be up there for you. And there's so much more we could have talked about. But instead, we're going to send blessings of light and love. Have a great month. We'll see you on September 24th. That's a Tuesday at 7 p.m. I think the subject is going to be sounds of the chakras. What an overall thing.
Okay.
Yeah, okay.
Do come back and join us. And once again, just many blessings of love and light through sound to each and every one of you from us. Until we meet again.
Thank you.
Good night.